Are we live?
It looks like it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa,
And I'm Ashley.
and this is our little podcast called So Crafty with Ashley and Lisa. We're attempting to go live for a couple reasons. Ashley does the editing, and it's time consuming. So we rarely have to edit much out. So we were like, why don't we just try it live and save her the hassle? And then also, if we talk about things that are upcoming, sometimes when we record, they're already done by the time you see the recording. So this way, if we go live, then you can just know about it when it's going to happen. So that's our couple reasons. And I hope if you're here and can comment, that way we can see if it's favorable or not favorable. Because we can always go back to recording, but we're kind of being lazy and making our lives easier. Time is of the essence.
Yes. I'm just looking. I'm pulling it up over here, so if we see comments, I can.
So if you see us looking, we have a computer, we have an iPad going. We're doing all the things here. Today is February 27th. We're in Kerwinsville, Pennsylvania at So Crafty, which is the yarn shop here in town. I just wanted to mention I posted on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. That's where you see any updates for the shop, anything that's going on, classes. But I just received an award, and it's somewhere behind me. It's back there. But Progress Land Craft Store, second year in a row for 2025. So that's fun. Doesn't mean much because there aren't a whole lot of craft stores in the area. But whatever. It's nice.
So people had to vote for you. So
yeah. So someone out there probably, I don't even know how it works. It shows up in the mail, like my little award, and I didn't know I was nominated. I don't know how you vote.
I know there's the one, like the Tri-County one. They have, they usually do online voting, but I haven't seen one for the Progress, exactly how you vote for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But I mean, it's still very nice and kind, and I appreciate it. So if any of you voted for me, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Any little advertising we get is great, helps the shop. So, all right. So we're going to start with what we're wearing. You go first.
I have my love note. So it's not blocked yet, so I think the lace will show up a little bit more, and I haven't decided yet if I want to add some length, but it's kind of at a weird length. I think I may want to unpick the ribbing and do it a little bit longer. So I weaved in, but I didn't completely snip my ends on the back. I think next time if I do it too, I'm just going to start from the top, because how it's constructed, I talked about this before, it's just a little tight in the neck, so I have to kind of like stretch it over my head. But this is in Shirsty Cat, Frog March, and a white mohair.
It's beautiful.
Yes,
Pretty.
excited.
Ready for St. Patrick's Day. I am wearing the Cory poncho, and it's spelled weird. If you're looking for this pattern on Ravelry, which I highly, highly recommend this pattern, it is Coorie. Sometimes I have trouble finding it. It was 2 skeins of fingering and 2 skeins of mohair, and it's just an indie dyed that I had in my stash. You won't be able to tell on camera, but I can tell where I changed skeins. It's a little tiny, it's a little yellower from here. No one else is going to notice. I know where the change is. I don't care. I love it. It is, it's kind of hard to see. My lights are not great in here, but it's splashes of pink and purple and yellow and green. So I can literally wear this with anything, with like a cream background. And I held cream mohair with it. It's super wearable. You can literally throw it on over top of anything. I keep it here, and when I'm cold, I throw it on over whatever I'm wearing, because it's nice and warm, that mohair. And it was really quick. It's done on bigger needles, I would say like a 6 or a 7. For fingering weight yarn, that's not bad, and it really went quickly. You're doing increases, like you can kind of see there's like a ridge here, there's one here, and then down the center of my back. And you can knit it as long as you want it, kind of customize. You could do stripes in it. You could do your collar in a different color.
I've seen a lot of people use it for advents.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Yeah, I could see an advent in this for sure. Yeah, super easy knit. So that is what I'm wearing. Okay, FOs. What do you?
I have no FOs.
I have one. We had posted, and we will continue. a beginner, in our beginner knitting, we're also doing like beginner knitting where you start with just a garter scarf. But some of the ladies have done real well and wanted to go kind of to the next thing. So this is the merry-go-round sweater. I started this after the last podcast and finished it last week. It took me about a week to make. With some dedicated knitting. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really work on anything else when I was working on this because I wanted it for the class. I wanted a sample. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Lamb and Kid, and they are a yarn shop in Bainbridge Island, which is out like Washington State, I believe, off of Washington State. I used 5 skeins of Patagonia, and when I say used, I have a ton left over. So in WIPs, you'll see what I'm doing with my leftovers. But yeah, it's wearable, it fits me. Like you, I maybe should have made it a bit longer. I followed the measurements, but I like things longer. I'm not really a cropped gal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for the purpose I need it for the shop, I'll probably leave it be. It's definitely long enough. It covers the bits I want covered. But if I were making it to wear, as a more often,
Yeah.
it's probably going to hang here at the shop, to be honest. And it's a perfect sample. So I use 5 skeins of Patagonia, which is wool. It's a rustic. I don't think it's that rustic.
It's not super itchy. I mean, it's no more itchy than my mohair I have on.
Right. But it's 100% wool. This would have to be hand washed, laid flat to dry because it would felt if I tried to washing machine it, which is fine. But yeah, so that's the merry-go-round sweater by Lamb and Kid.
I actually think I have something Lamb and Kid because we're gonna do a WIP parade today.
Yes, so today is the WIP parade.
And the thing is a little off because it wouldn't let me lay it and how I normally do it, so it's kind of up and down. So the video isn't as wide as it normally is, but we're learning on this live, so
We will, and
we'll figure it out.
yeah. Okay, I have 9 WIPs I'm going to talk about.
I don't even know how many I have.
Okay.
I have at least 6 that I have wrote down, and then I just kept throwing things in. As I was
Okay,
walking.
well, let me go first then.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the WIP with my leftovers from my merry-go-round sweater. So it is a pattern, it is a shawl called the Artists. It is a mosaic knitting pattern, which means you slip stitches. It looks like you're knitting with different colors, and you are not. It is.
It looks like the what's the?
I'm going to show you on my phone because I didn't print this pattern. This is the Artists. And some of the colors were similar in the, I like that pattern. So this is my leftovers
There's
from
like a
my
whole skein.
sweater. So literally there's like an entire skein of yarn almost left over. So I thought, well, I could make another sweater or I could start the Artists. So I started the Artists. There's some, right now, I think I have the pattern on my phone. But you're slipping stitches to the front that makes some little bumps. Don't mind the dog hair. Yeah, so I haven't really gotten into the fun part yet where you're, using 2 colors, but you'll still only use 1 color per row. We said we're going to be better about talking about like our needles, our project bags, blah, blah, blah. These are Zing needles, which are some of my favorite fixed circulars. I am using a size 4 for this. I believe the pattern called for a 5. I am a loose knitter, so I typically go down, and it's going to be a large shawl anyhow. I didn't want it any bigger than necessary. So, yeah, and I'm hoping, my thought process with this is, I kind of felt the balls. I didn't weigh them. I just kind of like,
Yeah.
my green was my most, and that's my main color. But if I run out of this and I need it somewhere else, I'm going to substitute. Like, I'm not going to break into another skein. I am going to use these 5 balls of yarn should be plenty to
Mhm.
make a shawl.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, because there's tons of yardage on the Patagonia, and the label's not right there. But anyhow, yeah, it's a Juniper Moon Patagonia. I carry it in the shop. I have lots of colors.
Looks like there's 382 yards and 100 grams. So.
Yeah. So I had like, probably 1,800 yards to start with. And I bet I have 1,400 left.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing with my leftovers. So, yeah. You can go.
This was. I said I was gonna work on this, and I have not worked on this yet. It's actually doesn't even
Have
yet.
needles.
Because I was stealing needles. I want to say, so this is my Hovi Locatelli Dark Cloud that I've been working on for well over a year now, and it's eventually going to get done. I just needed the cast on of everything. I'm almost done. I think I have like 2 inches left. These will be the shoulders. You'll kind of pick up and then knit down the front. This is in the Sahara yarn. It is in the colorway, this is one, gray charcoal. It's a nice worsted. It's like that almost unspun, not quite the blended where it's in like the netting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
But it is kind of a
actually.
chainette.
It is, yeah. Now that
Like
I
I'm
look at
pulling
it.
apart. It's a chainette.
It is. Which this is white, so I guess I didn't notice it. I'm working with another kind of chainette yarn, and it has more like darker colors
Mhm.
to it, and I'm really snagging it, but I did not have trouble with this snagging and like kind of almost splitting stitches so far. But this
I
is.
highly recommend when you're using chainette yarns to use metal needles.
Mhm.
I tried a project with wooden needles, and it was a no-go.
Yeah. And I honestly don't. I think I only have maybe 1 or 2.
I have
needles.
some wooden needles. I just used them on that sweater. I used them on that sweater, and they were fine.
Mhm,
Only
yeah.
because it's what I could find at home. I had my little Likey shorty set,
Oh yeah.
and I did the whole thing on shorties. It worked for me. And like I said, I wasn't knitting on it that long. It was about a week. But like if I'm using mohair or lace weight, I want metal needles with a decent point.
Yeah.
So, okay. My next one is, and I've talked about this before, it is the Powder by Casapinka. I know it's in black and white, but I showed you I had a pink one done. I have customers that are doing it, my Friday group. This time, I'm doing it in a fade. I've done one color before. So this is my first section, and it is in brown. And then I'm gonna fade it into other like earth tones. These are my other colors.
I like those.
Yeah. And this is all universal deluxe worsted and deluxe worsted tweed. So that is one of my WIPs that hasn't gotten much attention lately, but it goes pretty quickly. It's worsted weight yarn. It's on a size 8 needle. It goes pretty quickly, and you're repeating like three sections. So once you get down the stitch, we really like this one. We call it the mermaid. It's hard to see, but it's you pick up below and like bring a loop up. We call it the mermaid stitch because years ago the mermaid blankets were all the rage, the
Yeah.
little like sleeping bags, and I made scads of them one year for Christmas for people for orders, and that was the stitch that kind of made that
Maybe
mermaid
the-
looking.
Like the,
That's not the real
scales.
name of it, but here at the shop they call it the mermaid stitch for those that helped me make mermaid blankets one year. It's funny how things go in cycles.
It does.
You know, like I haven't heard about mermaid blankets in probably 7-8 years.
Yeah.
But-
Although now I see different ones. My favorite are, and I haven't seen them quite as blankets, but they're making like little pouches and they're like fish.
Yeah, or like sharks, like the
Yes.
bottom of it is like a shark's mouth.
Yes. So my next one, this is in the bag that came. This is my Fangirl Fiber Advent from this year. And I started the gift wrap shawl. I'll move So this is a free pattern. It's on Ravelry. It's gonna be a very simple, this is just a double increase, until you get to the stitch count, and then you'll keep the same stitch count with just this kind of little center detailing. This is my first color, which
So is this what you're doing with your advent?
Yes, this is what I'm doing with my
Okay.
advent.
Okay.
And then I think I have a plan for the leftovers, but
This would be cute.
it would. I'm gonna do a bits and bobs blanket because
Oh.
I'm gonna have a lot of leftovers from stuff from this year.
Mm-hmm.
But this is it's Funny Girl That Belle. You can see. So it's kind of like blues. There's a little bit of like maybe some orangey browns in there.
A teal even?
Yeah, like a lighter tealy. So I'm excited. This one will probably use up most of the ball, and then the other ones aren't going to. It's actually made for like a 12 or 15 day advent. So I'm probably just gonna make the stripes a little smaller, and it'll be longer than it. But it'll show them off nicely, I think. The other change I think I'm going to make is it calls for baubles between like at the color changes. Instead of baubles, I think I may do an eyelet row.
Yeah, like knit two together, yarn over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I am using, I don't know if these have a 3.75, so I believe that's a 5, US 5. Needles. Yes, because I needed 5s, because all of my projects need 5s, and I found these in there. I forget, my mom got them somewhere for me.
They look like maybe a Susan Bates.
Yes.
Like the way that
yes,
there's a
they have
curve
this
to
curve, and
I
I don't
I think that's maybe a Susan Bates.
I think it
thing.
is.
I don't know.
But I don't love them with the curve if it's something bigger, but right now it's not bad until
Right.
I find another set of
Another five.
5s open.
Cute. I'll be anxious to see progress on that.
Mhm.
Okay, this is my next one. This is
Ooh, I'm so
called
excited.
the Winter Dream Neck Warmer. This is designed by Nicolette Corley, who is a customer, and she comes to my Friday knitting group. We will be doing this as a class eventually. She has a sample here. Hers is gorgeous. So I started one, so when she does the class, I won't be a complete newbie.
Yarn's pretty.
Yes, so this is one, I pulled it off the shelf here. It's probably like the last skein of it kind of thing. It's a hand dyed, like a worsted weight. And then I'm using Heritage 6, which it's a little thinner, but I think it's gonna be okay. It was the colors I wanted.
Yeah.
So this will be, I'm on the star row now, which is a chart. And I have to do it in seclusion. I'm not charts aren't easy for me.
No, me either.
It's something I need to do. So it's not social knitting for me. I can do it at home watching TV probably, but not, not while
People
folks are
talking, yeah.
talking or asking me questions. And
Is it
I,
only charted.
yes,
Okay.
only charted. And I think part of that being, I don't believe English is Nicolette's first language.
Mhm.
She's from Hungary. So I think, her, and most of her designs, she has beautiful, look at her up on Ravelry.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. They are on fingering weight with size like 0 and 1 needles though. That's my only complaint.
Yeah. She needs like some worsted weight, sweater pattern. No, you do you. I am knitting this on my Likey short needles.
Those are cute.
They are. They're wooden. They are short. Like my tips are only this long. I like them for small circumference things.
Mhm.
Sleeves, cowls, hats.
And I think I would like the wood for color work because you have that little extra grip.
Yep.
Because you get going and then you lose stitches
Yes.
sometimes. So.
And if you have to rip back, sometimes ripping back on metal needles is rather, slippery.
Mhm.
So that's one of my works in progress. And I'm excited about it. It's beautiful. This is I have that cow here at the shop if anybody wants to see it in person. She let me borrow it. Kind of get excitement about the class coming up. And we don't have a date scheduled yet.
She has a very beautiful one that she just released, I think, or is in testing and will be releasing soon. But she has a ton of colorwork sweaters that are all beautiful.
It's one of them's called the Sunflower.
And then I think there's another flower one too. That
There's a really pretty blue and yellow one. If you look up her Facebook page, Nicolette Corley Designs, she just posted it, and it's really vibrant. It reminds me of like the Ukrainian flag, like that royal blue and
Yes.
yellow. Like it's really, really
And
pretty.
the motifs almost remind me of the, what's that? It's a short sleeve color work. We had talked about it before.
Alpine bloom.
Yes, I think they kind of give me those because they're kind of like the tall, longer
Mhm.
motifs, but
Mhm.
they're beautiful.
Yeah, she does beautiful designs.
I have some crochet.
Well, my next one's crochet too.
This is a corner-to-corner blanket I'm doing for my son. There are going to be
Oh, that's cute.
6 of these like blocks, and they're all
6
different.
dinosaurs.
Yes, 6 dinosaurs.
Wow.
So I think I probably have maybe 4 more rows of red, and then it'll just be straight white. So that should actually make it through. I'm on the decreasing already, but
that is so cute. I was just trying to
Let's
pull the
see.
string like off its
Yeah.
face.
But
So cute.
this is a free pattern I found. I'll have to link it below. And yeah, it's a free pattern. There's 6 total dinosaurs. They're all in different colors, and my son is gonna love it. I just need to get working on it before he like quits liking dinosaurs. I believe.
What other are you doing them all in red, all the dinosaurs, or are you
No.
gonna do like different colors?
No, we went to it's a Hobby Lobby acrylic, whatever their I love this yarn just because it's going to a 5-year-old, so something that's not gonna get destroyed. They're all different colors. We picked them out a while ago. He likes red, so that was the first one, and T-Rexes are his favorite. But there's like a Stegosaurus, there's a pterodactyl. I don't even know what all of them are, and I'm using an a 5mm hook for it. So
Cute. It's one thing I've never done as a corner to corner.
I have my sister. She was in 4-H, and I did a 4-H clover one for her for 1 year.
Never done it.
And I have another one started actually for my sister-in-law that I just haven't ever worked on. It's probably only about this big.
All right, so my next WIP, and this is an oldie. It's been sitting in my craft room. I've kind of moved it around recently, and I need to finish it. It came from a magazine, Crochet in 2019, which is probably about when I started it. No, I don't think it's been that long. Maybe, I don't know. It's been a while. My grand plan was to make 2 of these, which I'm making blocks. That's just the magazine picture. And I've actually lost a page of the pattern, but I know a lot of my customers did it. I could find it. But this whole bag is full of crochet blocks in progress. So, yeah, I have this
Now,
entire.
are you changing colors in that order too?
Yes, so I was making 2 of them identically.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I put a ton of time into it, and I just need to get back to it. I'll tell you what part of my problem is. It's all single crochet.
Oh.
I don't love single crochet.
No.
It is my least favorite of all the stitches. I'm digging. I thought I had one completely done that I was using as, like, I thought I did one entire block that I was kind of using as my pattern. And it could be, I have a ginormous bag of, anyhow, I'm not gonna bore you with, oh, wait. Is this it? That might be it.
Yep.
So that is like what I'm going for. It's all earth tones. My girls' houses are gray, black, white. So that would be finished. So honestly, I don't have that much more to do.
No.
I have
Maybe 2 colors.
2 more colors.
Yeah.
I really need to get moving.
And that's just like production. Just, you
Right.
go through and you finish one and you set that aside and do the next one.
Yeah, so now that I have it out of the craft room, maybe I'll actually, but I have a whole entire bag of blocks that I have done. If any of my crochet friends out there want to finish it for me, that'd be great, because I do not love single crochet. It hurts my wrist. To be
Yeah.
quite honest, I have to do it in spurts because it really works my wrist. Probably just aging, unfortunately.
I
That's
have
cute.
a muscle burrow. So this is the
Uptown Stripes.
Uptown Stripes. See that there. I'm not loving this color pooling. It's right kind of in between where I changed, but
And it's gonna change as you increase. Like
yes.
it's
And I also, so I started this on DPNs. That was a new thing for me. Right now I have it on a pair of Addy size 8 shorties that I got for my last couple muscle burrows I've been doing. It's a 16-inch circular. I only have one skein of this left, so I don't think it's gonna be enough to finish it out. And I think there's some out of this because I made a Christmas stocking for my husband out of this. And so I don't know that it's a whole one, so I have some plain black also that I may do like half and half. I originally started it, I asked my husband, I didn't think he would wear it just because it's kind of a little wild, but it's Steelers and, you know, golden tie colors, so that's kind of why I got it. But I have a friend whose brother is going through some cancer treatment, so I think I'm going to offer it to him, and if he doesn't want it, donate it probably to like the chemo cares bags, just to try and use up some of my stash.
my next WIP is, and I have not given this any love. It is the Changing Seasons Mystery Knit Along, and I'm pretty sure I'm now 3 clues behind. I know. It is lace. It is,
Is this the one you needed like a bajillion stitch markers for?
yes, and because you have to change them, and it'll say move it 2 stitches to the right, 2 stitches to the left on the next row. Blah, blah, blah. It is also needs to be done in seclusion. I am using
These are
square
squares.
needles. Look how often I use these. Like the
Jeez.
finish has worn off. I love square needles, especially for lace, because I can get against the flat edge
Yes.
and pick up, you know, when I need to knit 2 together, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, the yarn I'm using is called Concentric by Haiku. This was in my half off room. I had 2 skeins of it left. I don't think there's any left back there. It is 100% baby alpaca. It is the softest stuff you would ever knit with. It is so soft. I do not have enough yards. I am almost through 1 skein. And then what I'm gonna do is start on the outside of this one. So it's gonna kind of fade in, fade out. When I'm out of yarn, the project ends for me. That's just, it's going to be plenty big.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gonna be a shawl that is 800 meters of yarn. So,
You've already got a good probably foot there,
yeah.
so.
And if I could stretch it out, I mean, it's probably 30, 40 inches wide already.
Mm-hmm.
I believe these are like size 7 needles. I know it's worn off, I think.
6.
6.
Yep.
Size 6 needles. Just using some plain little wooden stitch markers my friend Nikki made me. Yeah. So that is a WIP that needs some attention, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna get to it. Because it's also not social knitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Lace.
Yeah.
My next WIP is a new cast on since we've talked last. It is the Regimental Cow, which this was a kit that I got from Lisa. It is using this Mandali Soab. It's a alpaca merino blend. It's also that chainette type
Mhm.
yarn. And it is
Oh, those are
gonna
pretty.
be a bandana type cow.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just joined in the round maybe 2 rounds ago. And then I know Lisa knit this and she got multiple out of it.
I got 2 cows and a hat
So
by switching the colors a little bit.
yeah, so I think I'll go back through and probably do like gray and then do like green is the next one, or probably yellow is like
Mhm.
the gray, just kind of switch them out and see. I thought they would be good gift knits for Christmas, but this was so quick, especially now that I'm in the round, it's gonna go much quicker.
I don't think yardage wise you'd have enough to do green as your main color again.
I don't think so either.
But if you mix it up, you can definitely get two cows for sure. I've done
Mhm.
it, and then I had left over enough to make a little beanie hat.
And then I'm using my Chaigu, my blue cord interchangeables. I just have them on all 3 cords right now. I probably could get away with taking one off, but eventually I'll probably need all the length. So I just have them all 3 together. And these are 7 4mm needles. So this will probably get in my basket of Christmas gifts.
My next one, I bought this at, I wrote it down, Yarn Gallery in West Reading. Whenever I travel, I was doing a show in Lancaster, staying with my friend who lives not too far from Reading, and then doing the show in Lancaster. So she said, hey, there's a yarn shop, do you want to go? And I'm like, sure. That's always my, when I travel, I find a yarn shop. That's my souvenir / shopping if I go anywhere. She had a sample of these in the shop, sample self. It is called Dotlets by Jana Huck. So I bought the yarn, I bought the needles, and then I got the pattern on Ravelry. They are cute. And here's where I got stuck. Well, the pattern doesn't call for a thumb hole, and I know the sample had a thumb hole. So I called the store and said, hey, explained who I was. She remembered me, and I said, your sample had a thumb hole, which is what I wanted. I didn't just want the tube, I wanted the thumb hole. So she told me the directions, how to do that, how they did it. This is carrying, I think you put 2 in the front and slip stitches. I think there's a better way to do it. So I want to kind of maybe redo the pattern and do it myself. I think there's a better way to do it. So that's kind of where I stopped. I was working on this like kind of hot and heavy up until Christmas. My friend that I was with picked these out, so they'll be hers when they're done. So I guess my quandary is, do I follow the pattern for the second one, which I started, because I'm not going to change the cuff or anything like that. I started, have a little bit. But I think I can do this better. That sounds snotty maybe, but I think there's a better way to do it. But it's a cute pattern. The mitts were adorable. These are on.
Those are interesting.
Yes, they are on. I bought these at her shop, and I have a few sets of these. It is I want to say it's an Addie unicorn.
It's definitely an Addie.
It's an Addie, and I think they're called unicorn needles, EWE. And I'm guessing because it kind of looks like a swirly unicorn horn. I really like them. They are textured. It's really hard to see. The needle itself has some texture to it, and they're also kind of square. So once again, you can use your tip to get against that and be able to pick up stitches and do some things. So the yarns I'm using, which I bought all of this at her shop, is Edition 3 by Skacel, and I carry that in my shop, but like I said, when I travel, I support other shops. And this is a classic elite yarn. It was actually in her sale room, and it's called Fresco, 60% wool, 30% baby alpaca. So I just kind of put together my own little kit for these mitts. Well, actually, my girlfriend picked out the colors. So, yeah. So that's still a WIP. And I think I'm gonna try to redo the pattern on mitt number 2 and see how it goes. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I rip it back out.
Yeah.
It's just a mitt. Like, it's not gonna be, days and days of work. But, maybe I'll publish it when I redo it. So.
All right. This is my Twisted Tea, which it's got a little bit of work. It's in my Wondering Pearl bag, which is just my cute Disney bag. I feel like I should have been split for sleeves, but it's not quite there. It's getting there. So I think I have 8 more rows before I split for sleeves. I talked to Lisa here the other day because my stitch gauge is pretty close. My row gauge is off. I have about 6 more rows over 4 inches. So I'm going to kind of try and see if I need to add some more length. We'll do it. There is, I'm trying to see if I can get the light, this little kind of twisted raglan in here. This is, the pattern is from Bree from the Little Wolf Knits. This is her Christmas at number 12 on her Sunfish base, which is her fingering sock weight base. And then the gray is Blue Moon Colossal Sock in Deep Unrelenting Gray. I had this for, I don't know, years now, and I caked one up and I never did anything with it. And I have another one, but they're really big cakes. Like, I still have that's probably almost 100 grams. I want to say they're at least 150 grams, if not 200, in the skeins. So I probably will have to go into the second one, but probably not a lot. And then I also bought the socks, or the short set that goes with it, and I'm going to flip the colors. So this is going to be the main, and this will be the accent for the shorts.
Cute.
So I'm excited. I'm going to be excited to split for sleeves where it can be less thinking of, because right now there's a 4-row pattern of how the increases are going. So it's been a little bit more thoughtful than.
All right, my next WIP, and I got stuck, so it went on timeout. It is the woodblock mitts, which I absolutely adore, and I think they are going to be adorable. I messed them up, and I had to rip out. Let me see. I have quite a bit done on both. I'm like at the finish line. Look at the ends on this, though.
Oh, geez.
Look at that mess. So it's gonna fold around your hand somehow. It's like origami, kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's gonna be like the side of the mitt. I'm almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure this might be like the thumb. Yeah, they're gonna be really cute when they're done. And I just used scraps of yarn. I went through my, scrap basket, pulled out colors I liked together. There's a fuchsia, kind of that mustard, an olive green, a teal, and a gray. And I know I'm down to like 2 or 3 more sections.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think how it goes. Maybe this way? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's a trust the process pattern.
It is, but what I did, you have to pick up stitches. I mean, you pick up stitches on all these sections. And then I was doing them 2 at a time. I have them both. I would do each section. You have to pick up stitches somewhere, and I joined it in the round, and you were not supposed to. You need to go back and forth. So I got stuck on the pattern. I knew it was wrong. It just was looking really wonky. And they have really good, it's a good pattern. Like, I'm just gonna, like, it shows you exactly where the next parts go. Like, I got something confused in my head and couldn't make sense of it. I need to just take the time to go back and see. I think I'm done with all of that.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm done with all of that, so I'm on page 9.
And it's a Yuzel Boutique pattern. She's who makes the muscle burrow, and I feel like every pattern I've seen of hers are fabulous. They're very, like, friendly, as in that you can use different yarns. Like, the muscle burrow is basically a no swatch pattern.
So yeah, it looks, looking at the pattern here real quick, it looks like I maybe have 2 more sections to do. And they're bigger sections. Like, it's just gonna be, I think, like, I'll probably finish up in my gray. That's gonna be the rest of the mitt is all gonna be gray. I am using it's an Addy. I'm gonna say I have really trouble reading anymore.
I feel like Addies are always really hard. Or is it a fixed, or is it a?
It's a fixed.
Is it on the wire?
I don't know. I'm sure your younger eyes are much better than mine.
A 4?
Okay.
That sound right?
Might be.
That's it.
Might be. I don't know. They look thin for a 4.
Or is it a 1?
I think it's a 1.
Maybe it is a 1.
I think it's a 1, not being, because it called for a US 2, so I probably went down to a 1, only because I know myself, I'm so loose. A lot of times I go down. And this is in a Della Q bag. I bought this on the Steel City Yarn Crawl. It says support your local yarn shop. I have some of these coming in. I will be picking them up on Saturday. So I have some Delaque snap bags and I have a backpack coming. They're really cute.
Can't wait to see them.
I bought one for me, so there's only one available because one is mine. I am keeping one. All right, any other whips?
I do. I have two.
This
more.
is ridiculous, right?
Right.
I know, we're ridiculous.
So this one has been forever, literally forever. It is. I wrote it down. Always Be Brave shawl, by Helen Kennedy. It is mosaic.
Pretty.
The yarn is a
I didn't see the like.
yes. So the yarn is from Hobby Lobby. I think I got it. I don't know, years ago. I am using Addie's fives. So another reason why I couldn't find any fives because they're all in projects. But so eventually it'll switch. So there's like
That's
speckly
pretty.
neonies in this. So eventually it'll switch. I think I have maybe 2 more repeats of the little kind of pattern there, and then the white will become the background and the purple will become the.
Do you have a picture of the pattern at all?
I don't think.
That's
I
okay.
do.
That's all right. I want to see it. I've never seen it.
I
I'm
have
like, oh, that's really pretty. What's it called?
Always Be Brave. Actually, maybe we do. Here it is.
That's really pretty. And mosaic is one of my favorite techniques.
It is, and it's super. They're like 12 repeats is one like full repeat, but you do like the one row and then you go back to the main color and then do the second row.
So it's kind of memorizable, like
Very.
easy
Yes.
knitting once you get on to what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's some increases, and that's really about it. So it's really simple. But yeah, this has been on my needles for forever. Also, I pick it up every once in a while. It was on.
That's a bag I made.
It is a bag that you made.
I recognize that.
Yes, it has been for forever. It was on plastic needles. I switched it to metal, and I started working on it again.
So, in our scheduling heads, I kind of schedule myself sometimes. I'll be like, I have to do like 1 repeat a day.
Mm-hmm.
It never holds up, but So this is my Elton pullover. I swore I was gonna have this done for this weekend. It's not gonna happen, but I did put some time in. Why it didn't happen is I knitted another sweater in the meantime. So, but I'm getting there. But I'm at we talked about this last time, I'm kind of at the sloggy point where I have to knit like, I think the pattern says maybe 10 inches. I really want to do 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I want this to be more sweatshirty
Mm-hmm.
than crop top. Like it's going to be boxy. It's going to be kind of oversized. And that's the look I want. I want to be able to wear like, leggings or whatever. But it is dreamy. The yarns it's Surrey mohair, Surrey alpaca, and then a fingering, and they are both, I know the Surrey is from River Rat Yarns, and I don't know where the other one's from. We've talked about it before. And I have a few mistakes. I get to going, and I have like 1 too many repeats in this section. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Because at this point, you knit into a certain length. I didn't notice until I was, a couple rows past. Too many stitches to rip out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I measured this morning, I was probably at like 4.5 inches. So I probably have another 10 inches to go.
And it's always the worst because you want to be done with it. And then if like this, I thought, oh, I knit it maybe an extra inch, but I should have kept going. And because you want it.
I want it.
Yes.
And I want to be done with it. Like you get to that point, like when you're
Mhm.
just knitting. Although the yarn is dreamy to knit with. Like,
There
and
it
that's
is.
kind of what I talk myself through. Like, oh, this is so nice. Like I don't rush through this because, it's really, really nice yarn. And once again, this time I'm using Chalgu needles, although my complaint is they come unscrewed on me. I can feel, normally I can feel, like when I'm sliding my stitches, I can feel when
Feel
it
it.
starts to catch,
Yeah.
and I go back and I need to find pins and like really twist them up again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, it's how I hold, how I knit. I untwist needles all the time. So I've kind of been going to either the Clicks or the Addy Clicks. They kind of like push in and twist.
Although I do get those undone every once in a while.
Do you?
Yes.
I have better luck with those, and I'm not complaining. Like, I
No.
just know myself, but these do come untwisted on me.
My red ones I don't have as bad, and we're talking about those little packs that we've talked about before. My blue ones though, because the blue ones don't have the pin hole to put through on the needle. It has it on the
Cord.
but not the needle. So I run into that every once in a while. And I'm really careful because my twisted T is needles from the blue pack, which are the small pack, which aren't the smallest sizes. It can be confusing, but they're size 5s, but I cannot find blue cords anywhere bigger than what comes in it.
These are what we're talking about.
Um,
These are the Chow Goose shorties. So the tips are they're little.
Yeah.
They're real little. And they give you, like, if you could knit socks on these.
oh, I do.
Yeah, you could. I don't. But, so this is, the yellow is,
These are big ones.
yep, I was just looking for all the sizes. 9 to 11. The blue set is 4 to 8. And the red set is 0 to 3. So this would be your sock set. This would probably be like a hat set.
That's why, and I have one of each. We've talked about that before. I have the 2-inch and the 3-inch tip on my socks.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. And I have them here. I'll talk about that in a minute, but these are going to Rags Fiber event this weekend. So that's my Elton. Do you have any other whips?
I do. I have 2 more.
This is, I have one more. I have one
Actually,
more.
I have probably 2 more in there too. But so this is my outline by I can't think of the name, but it's Hedgehog Fibers. And these are all PA dyed yarns. So this blue here is Chicken Knits. This gray, which I have a mini. I don't know that one actually showed my minis. I bought that actually. She was doing a pop up at the Yarn Crawl. And I do. So there was a set of 5 minis, and there's the solid gray, and then there's all of these.
Was she at Chicken Knits outside?
She was, yes.
Yeah.
So these are nice, like woolly wool. I don't think they're super wash. It was my first time working with that type of yarn, but I actually really do enjoy it. This here is Lisa Frank. It's Lisa's yarn. This one is from it's Titanic, I believe it's called. It's from Rags. And then this orange was from Woodland Wool, which she just recently stopped dyeing, and then I'm back into repeating. So there are 3 repeats of this section here, and then the 4th repeat is double the length. So like you knit, instead of 20, you'll knit 40 rounds.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is, since I only had minis from Sweater Weather, I am switching them out each round or each section. So my next one's going to be this nice purpley color. And then I think I'm going to do this blue next. And I'm going to do on the last one will be double the length. So I'm going to do one, because you do it 2 different times. I'm going to do one and one the other color. But I just picked this up the other day and started working on it a little bit.
Show them what you have on there. That little counter.
Oh, yes.
So real quick, I just saw it on there, and it's from Twice Sheared Sheep.
It is. I have multiple versions of these. So this one is the even odd one, which works beautiful whenever you are doing flat pieces. So it has 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. You just slip it. So whenever I do a right side row, I just slip it to the next loop, and then I just pass it, and I don't change the number whenever I come back. But I use these a ton to keep track of my rows that way. I forget, I use them on something else too.
Yeah, like I'm a pencil and paper keeping track of rows when I have to.
Yeah,
When I have to keep track of rows, and I'm a row counter.
I am too.
Some people can't do that. Like, so this is, I need to do 4 rounds, I don't keep track, I just count them. And I think the confusing part is you have to count the round on your needle.
Yes.
It counts. Like, so right now I'm on round 2, 3 of, and I'm, of what I'm knitting, and I need to do 4 rounds. So anyhow, but that's a different way to keep track of your rounds.
And it's nice too, especially like because that it's changing constantly. I have a bunch of ones from them. I have a knit increase and decrease one that's nice for making socks. And this is also in my shop small or
Delicue.
little yarn store Delicue bag.
Okay.
So
I have one more that I'm gonna share. I hope we're not boring you guys to death. I started this last night. I had, my Wednesday night gals were here, and all of the projects I had brought with me to the shop weren't social knitting. And so I had a, one of these in the store, and I sold it. So like, I don't have a sample anymore, but it is a great sample for, fingering weight yarn. Anything. Like, you can literally do anything. The pattern's called Curo, Cuero, and it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, so I'm gonna cover. But it's really pretty. It's a point. You do sections. You're carrying your yarn up the sides, so there's not gonna be a whole bunch of ends to weave in.
always a plus.
Yeah, I've had this yarn for a while. It's Ancient Arts Little Nettle Soft. I've had it for a while, loved it since the minute it graced my door here. And I think I'm down to like 1 skein of it, and I was like, I think it's mine. Like, I think it's mine. So then I paired it with, it's showing up green on the camera, but it's really a
It's like a pale gold almost.
pale gold, yeah. I got input from my Wednesday night ladies, and they said this was the one.
And there's some similar color in there.
Right.
So I think
I didn't want it matchy. Like, I want to be able to see the contrast, and you will.
Oh yeah.
You will. It's not going to be matchy at all. But I could have put anything with this. I could have put a white with it. I could have put a gray with it. Like, this was the kind of showstopper that I really wanted to use. So, yeah.
So my next one is the baby start of a toe-up sock, for Ethan. So I wanted to try toe-up because I want to try and use, this is my leftover sock blank that I used, to make my Christmas socks out of. So I used the same red yarn for the toe. I started knitting up. I found a pattern, kind of recipe on, online. I couldn't find one that I really liked on Ravelry. I searched and searched and searched. And I'm debating if I want to do a fish lips kiss heel or if I want to try my hand at a toe up heel flap and gusset. So the pattern and where I got the numbers from, they do a heel flap and gusset. I did do, if you buy the fish lips kiss pattern, they tell you to make like a foot basically out of cardboard or something like that to use. So I did do that also just so I could see kind of how long I needed things. But this is my baby start of socks. I'm probably gonna try and get through the foot of the first one and the heel, and then I'll probably start the second one and then just kind of work them tandem. I'm gonna probably try, it's gonna not come out as nice, but I'm gonna pull from the top end of the sock blank so I can use it all. Let's see how much right here. It's just a little itty bitty baby sock.
I know, it's so cute. You better not grow.
I know. I better get them done.
All right, do you have any other whips?
No more whips. I have 2 acquisitions.
Okay, I have no acquisitions, but I might after Saturday.
Oh yeah. So this was my. I don't think did I show this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I love that.
So this is my Little Wolf Knits. This is the Bad Beginning. It's the series of unfortunate events book. By I think it's Lemony Snicket, and they're doing a yearly club. So this is the first month, which is the Bad Beginning, which goes off the book. I think she's gonna make some tonals that are gonna kind of have this like brown. If you've seen the books, they have a picture and then they have this kind of like browny, like orange color background. So she's gonna make a tonal to kind of hold them all together. I am going to make with it, I've been back and forth of what I'm going to do, but I think I have settled on the Autumn League pullover by Two of Wands. It's just a sweater. It has a little, you can't really see it, but it has a little like neck
Yeah, it's
detail.
almost a sweatshirt looking kind of detail.
Yes, and that's what I wanted. I want this to be just kind of cozy, something I'm gonna throw on.
And that's DK weight.
This is DK weight. There are going to be 13 colors plus the tonals, plus the tonal color.
So every month you get,
Every month I'm getting a DK weight full skein.
and then when do the tonals come?
So she was working on them.
Are they minis like that come with it?
There were talks because she was gonna make sock sets for a mini, and then I think she is gonna dye up because she's dyeing it on all of her bases plus fiber.
Okay.
So there's some people that are getting it done in fiber as well for the colors. But her sock weight, her DK weight has a ton of yards. There's 247 yards, so that's a good amount of yards for this. What I'm going to do with it, I'm going to stripe it. I don't think I'm going to repeat the stripes. I'm just going to kind of fade them down. I haven't got my shipping for this month's, but I saw it on her podcast and it's going to be good. And the next month also she did a sneak peek, so they're going to be good. And I think they're going to tie nicely because they're all going to have some of these kind of brown colors. The next one's kind of green. But I think they're going to fade in nicely. So I just need to kind of do some math to see how I need to.
See how many stripes you need to do to get through all of them.
All of them.
And I mean, it wouldn't be a crime if you had to repeat.
No.
Like, I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
And I had thought about, I'm debating if I want to do the tonal because I think I was looking at the pattern and I think you knit the neck, and then go back and pick up stitches for the neckband. So I think I may do the ribbing parts in the tonal.
Okay.
I think that'll maybe bring it all together.
Okay.
But my goal is I just want it to be like a comfy, cozy sweatshirt, so I'm gonna make it oversized. And then my other one is on a buying kick. Was from 3 by the Sea Designs, which I've had their stitch markers before. This is a cute little Mickey that looks like an orange.
Cute.
And they had a Valentine's Day sale, so there's some cute little heart stitch markers too.
Cute.
So that was my little purchase that I needed the other day.
Yeah. So the last thing I have to talk about, well, I guess 2 things, but do you have anything else?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. This Saturday is Rags Fiber Affair. It is a fiber show, yarn. There's some bag makers. I know there's a girl that makes crochet hooks. There's food, there's drink. My daughter's actually going with me. She's going to do her dirty pup there. It is in Delmont, PA, near Pittsburgh, kind of Monroeville, Pittsburgh area. It is at the Faith Global Methodist Church. If you, I just shared it on my Facebook page, and if you can look up the Rags Fiber Affair or Rags Yarn Shop, and she has lots of information on there. So going with me are, I'm gonna kind of get out of the way. These are my, I'm gonna pull one. These are my ombre, thank you. The word left me. These are my ombres. They are, so what I do is on my circular sock machine, I knit a tube, then I dye it, and I let it dry, then I put it back into a hank form, I steam it with my steamer, and then I recake it.
I was gonna say,
They're a ton of work.
I wondered if you were, because they don't look crinkly, so I wondered.
They're not. They're a little, I'm not going to say they're completely uncrinkly because, it's in a hank on a skein winder, and I'm just kind of steaming it and trying to get, it's not 100%, but it's no big deal.
But it's
not
like
ramen
this.
noodles.
Yeah.
I call that ramen noodle. It's completely ramen noodle when I undo my sock blank. It's 100%. But I am super, super happy with some of the colors I'm getting.
They are springy.
Yeah, so I was kind of, this time of year,
I love that one.
we are craving brights. This one is, I called it Lagoon,
I like that.
like the Blue Lagoon. It's teals, and so I do it 2 different ways. If you look at this one, This one's brilliant blue skies. I do it two different ways. This one, I held the sock blank in the middle and dipped it. So this one's gonna fade in and fade back out. If you wanna make socks out of this, you would be able to get somewhat of a matching pair. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be identical by any means. This one only fades one way. So I held it by the end and dipped it, you know, kind of swoosh the dye off, dip. Then I keep dipping it lower and lower. And then usually the very end, like the really dyed part, I let sit for a bit. And like you end up getting a little tiny bit of dye on the end because I'm using my hands and I have gloves on and like just touching it. It's never going to be pure white. I don't care.
Yeah.
If that bothers you, don't buy it because, you know, but it's, so this one only fades one way, light to dark. This one fades dark to light and then back out. So I just thought they were kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have lots and lots of yarn I've been dyeing. It's all going with me. These are just some of the ones, some of my faves. This one is all neon yarns. The color's not really picking up, the light's striking it, but it is neon yellow.
It looks like
Neon.
a highlighter.
Yep, looks like a highlighter with kind of a light yellow base. It's really hard to keep your yarn really, really white when you're throwing dye on it. It's
Yeah.
really hard. I haven't ever been really successful, but you know, I'm learning. I am by no means. This one is also fun. It is called Fruity Pebbles. And it is lighter. It's still kind of the same colors. There's a pink, there's a blue, there's a green, yellow, but more subdued than the neon. Not nearly as bright as the neon. This one I love. And I'm tempted to keep, but
Ooh.
it is pinks and lilacs and browns and some creams. And it is called Plumwood. I've been using AI to help me with my names, or ChatGPT, because you know it's hard. Like
Yeah.
some of them I look at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know that one's good. I know
Yeah.
a name for that. I like this one. I sat and looked at it and I'm like, so then in ChatGPT I said you can put in it's a yarn name for purple, brown, pink yarn, and it came up with Plumwood, and I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes it inspires me. And most of these I have 4 skeins. Some of them I only have 2. It depends on, you know, when I throw it on in the pan, whether I like it or not sometimes, or how much I like it, or how much I think like, oh, this will coordinate with that. Like, I'm doing some tonals. This one's Plum Perfect.
Like that.
And it will go with Plum Woods beautifully.
Oh yeah.
So that could be like a shawl set, sweater, shawl, whatever. But these, so I did this one first, and then I was like, okay, I want something to coordinate. So I did. Yeah. So those and many, many more. This is just, I just put together a little crate so I could show you guys some of the things that'll be coming to the Rags Fiber Affair. And then I have a whole tote here. I'm bringing needles. I'm bringing some books. I'm bringing some gadgets, things that knitters need. Yeah, so that's Saturday from 10 to 3 in Delmont, PA. So I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And we might be running out of time.
So, yeah, I don't know how long we can live, so we'll have to see. I tried to do it on my computer and it kept failing,
But you know, like I've watched other podcasts, they're like two
yeah,
hours.
like the Grocery Girls are like 2.5
They're
hours.
like 2.5 hours and they're live.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
we'll give it
Maybe
a
we
shot.
can keep going. But we were kind of keeping an eye on like around an hour mark. We wanted to stay under, and we did.
We did, yeah. We're just right at 64 minutes. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, like us, follow us, and I looked this morning. We have over 1,000 views on our, so that's super exciting.
Yay! That is exciting.
And I think 60 subscribers. So keep liking, keep subscribing.
Share
and
if you will.
yes, and we will have a giveaway at 1,000, or excuse me, 100.
100.
So,
Yeah. We're not that far.
No, not that. Yeah, but 100. So,
Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a wonderful 2 weeks.
Yes. See you
See ya.
later.
Bye.
I get me squared away.
We were live.
I know you were. I thought
We were
you-
live. We usually record, but